We're talking about the buyer journey, and now we're going to get into the adoption stage. Hi, my name's Hannah Ajikawo, and I like to talk about go-to-market stuff. I love to break down really complex ideas into more digestible chunks so that you can take action on that immediately. If that sounds like something that you can get value from, then please like, subscribe, and share with the entire world. Before we get into the next stage, please go back and review all of the other videos on the pre-purchase stage of the buyer journey that looks at the awareness stage, consideration, decision, and purchase. It might take you about 20 minutes or so to get through those, but it's really going to help you get the baseline understanding for the rest of the videos inside the buyer journey. So what do we mean by the adoption stage? Well, the first things first, your prospect has now gone through a buying journey that looks at the awareness, consideration, decision, and purchase stage, and now they've transitioned into your customer journey. Adoption, expansion, renewal, and advocacy. The adoption stage of the entire buyer journey is the first time that you can actually call somebody a customer. They've now invested in your solutions, your products, and your services, and they're hoping to start using those so that they can start to see the early signs of the value that you promised them. Research has shown that getting the adoption stage right could be the difference between a customer renewing or not even renewing a contract. Wise Owl found that 55% of people say they've returned a product because they just simply have not understood how to use it. During this video, we're going to spend some time going through the 4 stages of adoption that's going to help you to ensure that this stage in your customer journey is an ultimate success. So there's 4 critical phases that a customer has to go through in order to make sure that this adoption stage is successful. But there's also 2 lenses that we have to look through as an organization to help facilitate those different phases. Now, the 4 stages are handover, onboarding, time to value, and habitual. And the 2 lenses look at logic and emotion. Let's get into some more detail. During the handover phase, your new customer may be meeting a new team, account management, customer success, or simply transitioning into your new process where you've gone from selling to them and trying to help them identify what value they could get with you to moving them to a process where you're trying to deliver that value with them. Now, there's some really small things that have to be done during this time to help minimize customer frustration and irritation at having to go over the same things. Now, the handover is essentially saying, here's all of the things that we've learned, and these are the promises we've made, and this is what we're now going to do to deliver on those promises. And we need to make sure that we're documenting stuff. So that's the first thing. Make sure that you've got a document, either a physical document or something that lives in your CRM or some kind of system that helps the next person, the next team, the next process utilize that information to make sure that your customer is handed over into the next part of their journey. It could be as simple as making sure that you understand who are the people involved, what were their existing processes that they used to walk through, and where were the issues, what were the challenges, what were the opportunities that they saw with you during that whole buying journey that they now are hoping to solve for. What is the desired outcome that they were looking for? In what time were they hoping to receive that value and reach that desired outcome? Who are going to be the people, the team supporting day to day? Who are going to be the users? What are some of the issues that may occur? What holidays are coming up for those individuals? What big company goals do they have? We want to capture all of this information and make that part of the handover. So for the customer, it feels like a seamless transition into the next phase of their journey with you. During the onboarding phase of the adoption stage, what we really want to do is make sure that we've gone from a successful handover to helping get your customer inside your solution, inside your products and your services, so that they can start to get those early little wins that get them that incremental step closer to their desired outcome. Onboarding is essentially going from not using the solution to using it. And we need to make sure that they have the access to the systems, they have the access to the people, they have the access to support to make sure that this is a really easy process. Without onboarding a customer into your environment, it's very hard for them to actually use anything. It's very hard for them to get started. So this is a really critical piece of the adoption phase that's going to allow you to get your customers into the habit of using your solutions. Now, for time to value, this is such an important phase because what we want to do here is use all of the information we've gathered from the handover to validate that this is now something that's happening. It's real. They've paid or invested time, effort, resources, and funds to actually reach a desired outcome. And now this is the first time where they get that win. The first time where they actually see that reality come through. The first time where they feel like they've made the right decision. So we want to get them to this phase really quickly. And there's different environments that help us to get there. If you are in a product-led growth organization where the product effectively sells itself and it's pretty much a self-service type solution, then you want to make sure that there's critical points, things that are happening inside the system that give you signals that they've now got the value that they were expecting. And we want to highlight that. We want to be pointing them towards those areas based on what we've learned during the sales process, the early stage of their buying journey. The other side is really if you are a sales-led organization, that you've seen the documentation through the onboarding, through the handover that lets you know that this is what they're looking for. And these are the types of things that we need to help them with so that they can realize that value as soon as possible. Okay, so this is the third phase of the adoption stage. The fourth phase of the adoption stage is habitual. It's helping and working with your customers for them so that they can develop the habit of using your solution in their day-to-day world, in their day-to-day team efforts, and in their wider organization. It really depends on what solution you have. But what you want them to do is have daily, weekly, whatever the cadence is of access to your solutions, to your tools, to your services. So if you're offering services, are they interacting with you, your team, the things that you're providing regularly? If you have a product, are they logging in every day or every week according to the way in which their role works? Because remember, we're trying to get them gains inside their day-to-day world. So if they're using a product of yours and it's not embedded in how they actually execute in their role, then we're going to struggle a little bit with getting that core adoption. This is so important because once they have that win, remember, they've just had time to value. Boom, I've got that. I see what this can do for my organization. Now we really want them to develop a habit of using what you have. We don't want it to be a one-off. We need that habitual behavior to take place so that it seamlessly moves into them saying, hey, what more can you do for me? And that's when we get into the expansion stage, but not right now. Let's continue to look at what are the lenses that we now need to look through in order to make these 4 phases seamless, frictionless, and just really easy. As mentioned, there are 2 lenses that we need to look through as an organization to help make these 4 phases inside the adoption stage land. We want them to be executed well so that we can successfully move our customer through the next stage of their customer journey with us, which will be expansion and then renewing and then advocacy, shouting and screaming about all of the great things that they've achieved with us. Now, the first lens is logic. Logic is just the things, the stuff logistically that need to get done. We have to be looking through that lens when we're looking at the 4 phases so that with handover, the stuff just getting done. What are the actual steps? What's that checklist look like? What does the checklist look like for the onboarding side, the time to value? So we need to get the logic behind that. And one of the best ways that you can do this is by creating a map. Create a customer journey map inside a system, on a document, on a spreadsheet, just something that helps the customer understand, what does my relationship now look like with you over the next week, month, year? Articulating this journey will help you to train and enable your reps to follow those steps. It provides more predictability. It provides more repeatability. And all you have to do is get better at executing those steps. Okay, so create a map that provides more logic to how a customer moves through the different phases of adoption with you. Inside that map, we want to make sure that we are looking at things that cover the tools, the people, the strategy, and the different sort of like processes that are involved inside that journey. What's expected of them? Set clear expectations, logic, because that is the thing that they're thinking through. They need some rationale behind, why are you calling me every day? Why do you keep calling me? Why do I keep receiving so many emails? And it makes it much easier if the expectation is set very early on. The other part of logic is accountability. You set a map. You've told them what is involved in that map and that journey with you over the next few weeks, months, and years, whatever it might be in the contract engagement period. Now we need to hold them accountable to that. And it's so much easier when they know what they're being held accountable for. Because let's be real, life and work get in the way. And sometimes, even with great intentions, our customers may not be doing the things that we need them to do, that we know are going to make them successful and transition through those 4 phases successfully. So hold them accountable. Create that two-way dialogue, that upfront contract that says, this is what you need to do, this is what we're going to do, and this is why this is going to be the most successful path that you need to follow to make sure that things are adopted. We know that the biggest challenge that most organizations have is change management and getting people to do new things. We all hate it. We're always going to take the path of least resistance. All right? So logic involves maps, mapping the processes to that map, and then holding each other accountable. So let's look at emotion. Now, the emotional lens really focuses on helping customers to feel inspired, confident, and successful. They want to feel inspired because they've just made a big decision as a team or as an individual. And they want to be inspired by the opportunity that lays in front of them, that opportunity that to do great things, to meet that desired outcome. So we want to have that lens when we're working with them. What's going to empower our customers during the adoption stage that's going to make them feel like they've definitely made the right decision, and then help build their confidence. They want to feel confident through the process. So we want to simplify things. We want to make sure that we're using really easy language, really simple documentation that helps them kind of navigate that map, that journey that you've put in front of them. So how do we do that? Just simplify things, remove the friction. Don't make them feel like they don't know what they're doing, because that's going to help them increase their confidence. And as they get small incremental wins, their confidence is going to grow. And then they want to feel successful. Those wins are what's going to contribute to that. What can we put in front of our customers during the adoption stage that makes them feel celebrated, that makes them feel like they're doing the right thing? This can happen in a product-led growth environment where we have wins and gamification inside the platform as they achieve small milestones. This can also happen with sales. We can engage them to say, wow, I can see that you've done these 3 things. That's amazing. Usually at this stage, we see this, but you're above the benchmark. What can we do to make them feel successful so that they know that the journey that they're on and what they've achieved thus far is the norm? All right, so there was a lot to cover in the adoption phase, but it's so critically important. It's a really core part of the customer journey because it's the first time that your customer has made that big investment and they're like, oh, this really better work out. So if you liked what you heard today and you really enjoyed the content and you think you can apply this inside your organization, please like it, please subscribe, and please continue to share with the world. In the next video, we're going to look at the expansion stage of the customer journey.